Okay, I'm not sure. Oh, I got a thumbs up. That's awesome. So somebody's on the ball. Hello, hello. Who's up? Hey, Dylan, buddy. Uh-oh. That's not good. Oh, good. Awesome. Somebody's computer was delayed. Finally managed to get started on the stream. It took pretty well from the time that I messaged you until I'd only been home about half hour. But I look forward to putting it together. I do hope I get a lot of views out of it. I had fun. I ended up doing so much filming at this one place, I had to finish filming on my regular phone. The battery went dead on my video phone. So I have got a whole lot of footage. Ended up putting in equivalent to about 10 or 11 miles. Let's see what my Fitbit shows. I didn't even look on my Fitbit to see what it said. I was going by the Under Armour. Waiting for it to pull up here. I don't think I've done more than that. I'm sure I did more than that. According to Under Armour, I've done more than that. I've done more than that. I'm pretty positive. Anyway, I felt like I put in a whole lot. Maybe I need to sync my Fitbit again. Yeah, it's taken forever for all of this. Okay. Yeah, here it shows 8 miles. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Fitbit's more correct. I don't know. I am wearing the Fitbit, so yeah, I'm late, but I got a good video that I've got to put together for you. So it took about 3.5 hours for me to film. That's why I'm late. Oh, well, you're just going to have to watch for it. And then you'll know. I believe what the Under Armour said. But my Fitbit said that I only walked a little over 3 miles. So it's probably feasible that I did walk just over 3 miles. The Under Armour, I guess, was calculating with me even standing still. Anyway, I felt like I put in a whole lot anyway. Oh, I wish I did do that every day, honestly. I tell you what, it felt so good to do a filming like that. I am going to be digging tonight to find something to film tomorrow. Every time I get out and do something new for a video, it bites me hard and I've got to find more stuff. I'm not going to be satisfied unless I've got something tomorrow. I'll tell you what, I feel lost since I stopped doing. Nah, nah. It probably runs at 8 miles. Um, I'm wearing my Fitbit, so I guess I'm just going to trust my Fitbit more. But I don't agree with the steps because it shows that I only walked like 8,000 steps. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. I think I walked more than 8,000 steps. But all I know is I did put in a good walk. You all's tired of watching me hike. So I'm not putting out any more hiking videos. Not hiking as you all know it. I look forward to putting this video together. There is a lot of editing that I've got to do. Whole lot of editing. I'm going to be busy on that for like an hour or two. Shoot. If I did that, I I don't think there's a possibility I could do that in one day. I don't think so. Should have brought in another bottle. I'm going to have that one gone. But yeah, since I stopped doing my weight loss journey, I have felt so lost. Like I am missing things. Uh, showed that it was to be about 95 or 96. But the temperature really wasn't bad. The humidity and the heat index wasn't bad, so it's actually tolerable. Either that or I was so caught up in what I was filming that I didn't halfway pay any attention. That's probably what it was. But yeah, I haven't gotten anything out for. I went to do a filming yesterday and nothing worked. Oh yeah, very much, very much. There's no way that I could have done any outdoor filming in over 100 degrees. No way. Yesterday, yeah, it wasn't bad. It really wasn't. But like I said, I can tolerate pretty good heat anyway. But yesterday, I was just going to do a vlog while walking. And then I thought, no, I'm going to film me doing frisbee golf. Well, I don't have a frisbee. And you have to have special frisbees to play the disc golf. Oh, well, that's very comfortable for you. Very comfortable. I could do 81. I wouldn't freeze it with 81. But anyway, I went to Walmart to get me a set of frisbee golf, just frisbees for the golf, and they didn't have them. So there went that down the drain. And then I set up to do filming on doing my nails because I had gotten in the mail some stick-on nail polish. And I had promised that I would do a video on that. So I'd set up the camera, had everything in the frame, had it close so that be able to see the detail better, and every bit of it was shot out of the frame. I had to ditch the entire video, and my nails was done, and I couldn't do it over. So my attempt yesterday to put out any videos was just fail. And I so tried. During the winter, it can actually get in the 40s here, but most generally it runs like in the 50s. It's even got cold enough for there to be an ice storm, at least here in central Texas. But on the whole part, it keeps around 40, 50, even lower 60s. It's all according. Oh, well, for the locals are, yeah, this is nice, man. Me, give me my sweat clothes and my coat, because I just freezing. That's the one thing I dread when I go take Bouncy out this winter. I will have to be bundled up like an Eskimo. I will not be happy having to take this dog out. Good thing is, though, we've got a 3 times a day schedule, so hopefully it won't be too drastic. But yeah, the locals love it during winter. They're comfortable. Matter of fact, it's kind of funny. It's very, very seldom that I even see my husband wear a coat. I would like to train her like that, but my ex-husband worked hard to finally get her to start going outside, and I don't want to screw around with that. So we'll just forget that. Oh, really? I don't sweat easy. It has to be extremely hot out for me to be sweating, or at least for me to like be hiking really hard. I don't hardly sweat. I never did. I was looking at the cat. Yeah, I don't like winter. Uh, I don't know that I've ever experienced any minuses, but I have experienced like low teens and single digits. And yeah, a long time ago as a teenager, I thought to myself, I'd rather be overheated and sweating any day over freezing. So that's the reason why I don't complain about the heat. And I just can't stand freezing. Uh, yeah. Yeah, one of these days, me and hubby may have a home, and then I'll have the joy of mowing the lawn in the morning. I would be the one mowing the lawn, and I would do it with joy. I won't mind doing that. Extra workout. Never had really a problem with mowing the grass anyway. Mom used to let me do it sometimes. Well, I'll tell you this. The units go from A to Z. Say, well, honestly, I don't know. Well, according to my mother-in-law, she has seen snow here in central Texas. It snows in the Panhandle, which is up around the Lubbock area in Texas. But I haven't seen any snow here yet. But we did have an ice storm once that I saw in the 5 years I've been here. I have to say, I miss the snow, but at the same time, I don't miss it. Kavanaugh is the one that's the judge now, right? The one that was accused. Yeah, seriously, I agree with you, Dylan. They are so crazy. It is so crazy. It's nuts. They're desperate to get the right people out, aren't they? Would people honestly be happy to have? They probably would be. Oh, brother. There's very little on Fox that I believe. I rather listen to conservative voices over anything. And the really sad thing is, like, that's that is all I watched was NBC. And it kind of makes me ashamed because, that was the only station that I watched. That was the only news. I never did like watching the news anyway growing up. And quite frankly, I'm not into it now. One thing we need to keep in mind, though, in the end, all the truth will come out. She was the one that was afraid to fly. Shit, there's been so many women supposedly coming out with their testimonies of how they were touched. I'm getting them all confused. Oh, I guess that kind of burned her up. That's true. I believe that one bit, Dylan. One bit. I believe it. Of course, they have been having to retract a whole lot of their stories lately. They're eating a whole, and I bet they're really getting sick of having to do that. But they shouldn't have thrown all that out to begin with. If we keep talking like this, I'm going to have to make sure to delete this. I'll have to delete this entire chat. Uh-huh. Yep. I knew that from the start. I knew that from the start. Kind of figure why we don't have anybody in right now is because where I started it so late, where I started the chat so late. But I think I'm going to start doing shout outs with links again. That way, it encourages people to come in, and that does give me somewhat of another video. But another thing, like another reason why I haven't gotten any videos out is because I have been so busy. It seems like 2 days in a row we was gone all day long. Shoot, you go retracting every one of that, Julian, there won't be very much to the chat. I appreciate it though. But yeah, I really hadn't been able to get any kind of videos out. Thanks, Julian. I didn't even have a plan of what we was going to be doing tonight. I thought, you don't have anything planned. No story, no trivia, no painting. What are you going to do when you start up the chat? So I figured general conversation at least. I had a little bit to talk about, a little bit. Oh, it'd be real easy with the three of us, wouldn't it? Wouldn't have to worry about getting confused the order or nothing. I mean, I tell you, I wanted so much to choke Dave. It's one thing that she was messing up my story route, but when Dave was doing it, oh my gosh, I wanted to choke him so bad. Yeah, no wizards. And I'm not building character before the story. I'll leave that technology to you, my dear son. You can do all that fun. I know. I know. What really made me want to choke Dave was when he had Nancy captured there in that cabin, and Jonathan was calling her from her home in Louisville. I should have specified that. I should have specified that. If I would have added that in, Dave wouldn't have had ground. He would not have had ground. All I would have had to say was that Jonathan got hold of info, found Nancy's number, and called her in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville. Yeah. Yeah, well, you better make sure to give that ending before anybody continues it on. You spelled it right. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, good old Dave. And he had to hit my Nancy upside the head. Somebody whooping my Nancy. After I'm done strangling Dave, I'm going to strangle Mabel. Abuse. Yeah. Poor Nancy. How in the world she got dragged into it? I mean, she was just one of those that knew how to get out of Detective Teddy. She ends up being a victim on the other side of the gun. Oh, Dave, what'd you do to my character? No, I mean, she was just. Jonathan happened to know her from Mabel and knew that somehow or another she would have connections. That's it. That's it. I've never heard of Raceland. Never heard of it. That'd be something for you to look up, Julian. Man, it would have really turned out excellent. But there's still hope for Detective Debbie to take care of the entire thing. There's still hope. If you don't manage to end the story, I've got a little bit of an idea how to help it go toward the end. I've heard of Flatwoods. I think I've heard of Flatwoods at least once. I don't know where it's located or anything though. Oh my gosh. Well, I sure couldn't hunt Dave down, could I? I guess I'd have to revive her somehow. It bothered me enough, poor Nancy getting whopped upside the head with the gun. My goodness. Okay, Julian. I mean, that poor old woman. Dave does not know my Nancy very well. Maybe I should have left her home in Louisville and never got Nancy involved. They would have never known about her if I'd just let Jonathan go seeking something else. Maybe I should have had him call his dad. I know. Like I said, it reminds me of a movie that would keep me on the edge of my seat. Yeah, seriously, he's giving me a run for the money. And I was thinking about that last night. I thought, for the first time, there is somebody there that is seriously having me to rethink again. I like the challenge. I've attempted to write books before, but I get bored writing them. Could set me up a dictator. I hope that we don't lose our train of thought by next Saturday. Yeah. And he said that we hadn't even got to the murder. But a really good way would be to link the murder somehow to the jewel theft. But there would have to be a reason behind it. Why would somebody do a break in on a private detective's home if they're caught up in a jewel robbery? Or at least with the gang that's a part of it. I'm kind of leaning toward that one as well. But of course, it's all according to when it gets to my turn and if I can lean it that way. Yeah, well, dear old dad already looks horrible, doesn't he? The other good question is, and does Jonathan's dad recover his bad mistakes? And what is it with supposedly dear old dad being with three other young ones that ended in tragedy? Ah, you and I might be able to throw Dave completely off. Of course, like I said, it's all according to how the story takes place before I throw in anything. I know. Ree was relying on Jonathan's dad to be a reliable source. But you know, in a way, and I'm going to tell you this, and I didn't even get a chance to add this because, like, it was taking all kinds of different twists. But the one thing I was thinking when Dad was pacing the floor and Jonathan kept asking what happened to the girl, I was thinking Dad killed her because she said that she was going to tell his secret. But I never got to throw that in there because the story took a completely different twist. Absolutely. We cannot hurt Jonathan in any way. Jonathan and Kyra are the heroes of this story. It's got to turn out that way. Even with Kyra being kidnapped right now, it's got to be that the both of them are heroes. But yeah, if my turn would have came up, that's how I was going to have it go. I was going to have Jonathan's dad admit that he had to kill her, that he killed her because she said she was going to reveal his secret. But that just didn't happen. That didn't get to it. That could still come out though. And this is coming out to be one big giant drama. It gives a good idea for a book, though, for sure. This is a true mystery with tons of twists. Tons. There is so many branches on this. There's Jonathan's dad, the murder, the woman in the black SUV, which we never did figure out what she wanted, and Mabel and the jewel thief, and oh my gosh, there's so many branches. So many branches. Oh my gosh. Yeah, seriously. Who wants to write it? Me, you. We could collab it. You write your part, I write mine, and we'll have someone come in between, be the mediator. I could seriously see this as a movie. I really could. So I guess your build a story is more like um, reality based, so to speak. And my build a story is more like just how funny can it get? Yeah. Jonathan was not supposed to come out of that coma. That threw me off big time. That threw me off really, really big time because Jonathan was not to recover so quick. And now, like, oh my gosh. We didn't say if he came out with any broken bones or concussion or anything. Cardiac arrest. And they do fib on him and boom, he bounces out. Is that a miracle or what, Dylan? I came so close to adding that God literally woke him up. I came so close to saying that because oh my goodness, I did. I came so close to saying that. I thought, nah. We could have made it that way. I wonder if that's actually ever happened. Someone go into a coma, ends up with cardiac arrest, and they do a fib on him, and they just, I'm okay, I'm ready to get out of bed. No, we're keeping you overnight. Darn. Yeah, that was an odd twist. I really thought that was going good. He was supposed to have that car accident before he got to Kyra's house. But yeah, I can see all kinds of things happening with this. I wonder if there's another way to throw Dave off. Little did Mabel know that Nancy didn't call the police station when she got hold of Detective Debbie. She got hold of Detective Debbie on her private cell phone. So whoever had called the police was before her. And Nancy got whopped upside the head for no reason. I know. Like, where the heck is Mabel going with Kyra now? Where? And Kyra still needs to get her cell phone out of that retrieval bag. Yeah, but see, once again, I'm going to have to start adding detail. Major detail. I leave too much detail out. I'm going to have to really seriously add detail. That way I can throw everybody else off. They have to think hard for their next lead. So, yeah, Jonathan called Nancy in Louisville, Kentucky. And Nancy called Detective Debbie on her private cell phone. Detailing. Detail. That way Dave can't run with it. Detail. I'll get that. I'll get that. I will make sure to throw in detail. We've got to somehow or another throw Dave off his off his track. Julian did say he'd be right back. And I kind of don't like the trivias that's on the app that I had chose, or on the website that I chose, and I don't like those questions. Do not like those trivia questions. But we have really found out some interesting things about giraffes, about anything. That was interesting to find out giraffes are the only animals that's born with their horns. Don't know why I was thinking giraffes. I think that stands out in my mind. The giraffe stands out in my mind. Something that I definitely never did know. But yeah, a whole lot of filming. I need to transfer the videos from my one front over. That way I can splice it together. It's going to be somewhat of a long video, but hopefully not too awful long. Might end up being about a 30-minute, 40-minute video by the time I'm done splicing it. Maybe even longer than that. It shows we've got some people. I wonder if we're just being silently watched. Yay! Hoping that we get more people come in. But I am going to have to start giving the heads up video. I think I'll do that like pretty early in the morning. Thing is, by the time I'm ready to start my day, it's about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I don't know. It shows that we've got viewers, but I don't know. Have you ever known him to be a spy before? And they might start showing up after all, Julian. Mark and Nikki can't make it tonight. He had told me ahead of time. Didn't say. Just said that they wouldn't be able to make it. I could message Terry though and see if she can come in. Yeah, Terry's having to kind of deal with her own time. And I'm not wanting to push nobody to come in, and that wouldn't be right. And I could message Terry. It's possible that once again people didn't get notified. People never gets notified. Ever. Ever. But I do know for sure that Mark and Nikki can't make it. I appreciate that Mark had said that they couldn't. Maybe there's a church event going on tonight. I know. Levi said that he could possibly make it like twice a week, and he doesn't even do that. He said that he stays busy, so yeah, we can try Dylan if you want. But he said that he stays very busy and he'd be lucky to be able to come in twice a week. So, I can understand. Um, Busy lives. Let me leave a message for Terry and see if she can come in. Alrighty. We'll see if she pops in or not. Yeah. And I don't know about Mitch either. I kind of think that maybe Mitchell's mom is really funny about him even coming in anymore. And I hate that, but that is what that is. But who knows? He might still manage to get in. Yeah, there's quite a few people that we've been missing lately. But it seems like they always come in much, much later. Mm, Maybe just a small part, Julian. There was a whole lot of things going on in Mitchell's life. Well, that woman must go twice a day. I saw her jogging this morning, I thought. Wow. So anyway, yeah, are you interested in building a story, Julian? Miss Bouncy is underneath the desk. She's at my feet. That's where she lays when I'm here. She's at my feet. Rather, if I'm editing, uploading, streaming, doesn't matter. She's at my feet. Yeah, she's my faithful girl. That's for sure. My faithful doggie. She loves her mama. I'm glad I brought her home with me. All right. Are you ready, Dylan? All right, this is from Terry. I'm laying on the couch, not feeling too good. Haven't vaped anything in a couple days. Awesome. I know people that don't smoke or vape don't understand, but this is very hard and it's beyond the nicotine. I'm jonesing. I'll try to make it in a little bit, but I'm very edgy. I don't want to gain all my weight back by replacing it with food. Take care. Love you guys. Okay. Bless her. I hate it that she's suffering like that. Hello, Grandpa. Yeah, let's continue praying for her, guys. We just need to continue praying for her. She's got this. She's got this. But it is a mental strain. It's not just a physical strain. It's a mental strain. My ex-husband tried to quit smoking so many times, and when he would manage to go a few days, it was hard on him. And that was with him smoking. I can't imagine what it is with vaping, but I know it has to be just as hard. So let's just keep on praying for her. Father God, continue to touch Terry as she works hard, Father God, to stop with the bad habits. Lord God, she wants to do better for her health. Give her strength to be an overcomer in Jesus' name. All right. I will start this out. Let me think here. There was a man that was standing on a bridge. There was a whole lot that he was thinking about. He had gone through a rough marriage that ended with divorce, and he had just seen a doctor who said that they believed they saw cancer. He was due to have a biopsy done, and he was worried for his life. So he's standing there on that bridge and he's watching the waters flow when a group of teenagers between the ages of 17 to 19 was rocking along. And they saw him standing there. And they was thinking that maybe he was considering suicide, but they didn't want to butt in. So they just quietly walked on by, but they kept looking back behind them. Finally, one of the teenagers turned around and walked back to the man. Dylan, I'm letting you go first because you're the one that said, let's build a story. Well, like you said, Julian, there can be a turnaround. You was going to have Karen commit suicide. All right. Karen is different, huh? Oh, I was replying back to Terry. She said that cigarettes was a breeze because she had another crutch, and now she doesn't have one. So anyway, yeah, rough one. The teenager said to the man, I noticed that you were in deep thought and looked troubled. Are you all right? This man looked at this teen with such shock because he would never think that someone of that age would have the kindness that he has just witnessed. He replied, well, to be frank, my life isn't looking all that positive at the moment. This man thought that he could be honest with this teen because of this huge act of kindness he has seen. Is it good for Julian now? All right, Julian. The teen said, I have been there myself. I fell into wrong crowds and my family split up when I was young. I felt hopeless and was going to do what you were about to do until a man came up to me. Okay. Uh, all right. Looks like Luna's got her own channel. Luna just subscribed to me. Whoop, whoop. I'll take every subscription I can take, even if it's someone's second channel. Anyway, so the gentleman just he turned around completely because at first he was still leaning up against the railing. He just looked at the teen, but finally he completely turned around so his back was leaning up against the against the railing. Sounds good. And I love you, Luna. You special dog, you. Anyway, um, so the gentleman completely leans back against the railing. His attention is full on the teen now. And the teen motions to his two other friends, and they come on over. And the teen decides to launch into his own personal story. And he says, my friends here, they really don't even know this about me. So I'm going to share with you what happened to me. After my parents split up, and I felt like it was my fault. No one had ever told me that it wasn't. And I don't know why, but for some reason, I just felt that it was. I ended up having to stay with my dad for a little while. He was really too busy with work and whatever else that he was getting into, his private life with me. So finally, I went to stay with my mom, and mom was busy dating every Tom, Dick, and Harry that was out there. So basically, I felt alone. And so finally, I found these different groups of people that would accept me in, and they tried to encourage me to get into dope and alcohol, and they were just hoodlums. My mom didn't pay no attention to what I was getting into. My dad was still too busy to even say, hey, son, come on back here. We'll work this out. So in time, I ended up getting into trouble. And when I was jailed for a week for a crime that they committed and I was with them, that's when I decided I had to break away from them. The gentleman asked, how old are you, young man? He said, I'm 19. The gentleman said, that's too young to go through all that right now. He says, tell me about it. Then the other two teens, they say, well, we had some situations ourselves. Surrey,
I'm here.
shut down.
Bye for now.
I didn't say anything to trigger that stupid thing. It does that. It's crazy. So anyway, the two other teens said, we've been through some things ourselves. So the gentleman asked, okay, share with me your story. So the 17-year-old goes on to share what happened to them. Dylan? Yep, that's right. I am the boss, and I did not tell her to wake up. So what in the world got her to wake up? It's done that a few other times on me, too. I don't even prompt the computer to come up. I'll never know. And I have to tell her to shut down every time. Nobody can tell me that these phones weren't listening in. She has done that at least two other times. At least. It's crazy. Yes, you do. You use those claws. Those claws work very well. One of the teens had said, I have experienced firsthand abuse to my mother. When I was 7 years old, my dad forced me to sit in a chair and watch my mother be hit with his huge fists. And I hope that it's not a bad thing, Julian. There is going to be a good turnaround. I'm determining that. And a belt. If I tried to leave, he would wrap me with rope and told me that if I told the police, he would have me dead. I had to see this happen to my mother every Sunday weekend after church. Are we good for Julian? She does. She types very good. I tell you, she's got those biting right on the arse. Yep. I believe that, Luna. You would. He would act one way at church and another at home. He would have a big talk at church, but was the biggest hypocrite I have known in my lifetime. Now you are, okay? Okay, well, like I said, this is going to end up with a very good ending. I'll finish this out, Dylan, because this is touching Julian hard. So I'll finish this out completely. We'll finish this one, and then we'll have us a fun story to work on. So the gentleman was shocked at hearing the 17-year-old describe his life. The gentleman says, well, what happened to you in the end? No, it's okay, Dylan. Everything's going to be good. Everything's going to be good. And but for someone who needs help, this can be encouraging too. So anyway, the gentleman was shocked at what the 17-year-old had said. And he said, so what happened to you after that? And the 17-year-old continues to say, well, finally, Mom found a way out. Hello, how are you doing? Good, Julian. Just hang tight, buddy. It's good to see you, Anthony. Anyway, the teen's mom had found a way out and escaped with their lives. In time, the mom had managed to get the police to arrest the dad for the abuse. Come to find out, the dad had also been abusing the teenager. And so the man was arrested, and the mom and the teen continued to move around until they felt comfortable. And finally, the teen was able to settle down, ended up with a good family, with good friends, and one of our vision is blurry. Huh. Anyway, so the teen said, "It's all good. I ended up with these two fellas here, and they are of a good influence to me, and I enjoy being around them." The gentleman says, "Well, that's great." And he says, "Well, you said that you experienced something too." And so the 18-year-old said, "Yeah, I did. But it isn't anything like what these two had experienced. My parents were killed in a car accident. So I grew up with my grandmother, and she was a good woman. She'd done what she could. She raised me up with the Lord and stuff, and taught me how to be good to other people and things. But I never was able to get over my parents' accident. And what troubled me about that was I was supposed to be with them that day, but I was sick with the flu, and they had to go. If I had been with them, I would have died with them. My grandmother tried her best to make me feel better about it, but I have lived with this guilt for so long." The gentleman asked, "How young were you?" He said, "I was 15." And the gentleman, he looked at the three boys and was amazed at how mature they were and what they had to deal with. They said, "So what is your story, sir?" He said, "Well, it's nothing compared to what you all had to go through." And they said, "We're willing to hear you." So he explained that he had had a bad marriage and it ended in divorce. He's been divorced now for a couple years. And he just went to the doctor, and the doctor said it looked like there was some cancer and that they was doing biopsy on the cells to see. And he said, basically, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I'm going to be dying. And I have nothing to show for it. Me and my wife, we didn't have children. We had only been married for a couple years, and we fought heavy. And I don't have anybody in my life now. I just don't have anything to show for myself. And the 19-year-old looked at him and said, "Sir, do you know Jesus?" And the gentleman said, "Well, what does Jesus have anything to do with this?" And the young man said, "Well, first off, he's the reason why the three of us are together." And the gentleman said, "How so?" They kind of looked at each other and smiled. "We met one another in church, and we all prayed for one another. And we found that we had a really good kindredship with one another. And we have been inseparable just about ever since." "How long have you three been together?" "Oh, we've been hanging together now for 2 years." "Well, once again, I'm going to ask you, what does Jesus have to do with me?" The 19-year-old said, "He has everything to do with you." The gentleman says, "Does he have anything to do with my divorce?" The kid looks at his two other friends, and the 17-year-old says very wisely, "Sir, he didn't want you to have a divorce, but there's a reason why you had one. How could he have ever reached you if he was busy fighting with your wife? And how is it that he could ever reach you if you hadn't come to this point in your life? Sometimes we have to get to our lowest points in life in order for us to come to know Him. The gentleman said, but why? Why do we have to suffer anything at all? The 18-year-old said, Jesus suffered. He was ridiculed. He was called a liar. Nobody believed him, but yet he still had crowds follow him. But in the end, when he was being crucified, everyone had turned against him. Jesus had to suffer greatly, and he suffered a lot more than we could ever know. The gentleman said, okay, but why do I have to suffer? The 19-year-old said, well, you don't. But because there's sin in this world, we all suffer in some way or fashion. Do you think it was good for my good buddy here to be abused and his mom to be abused? Or for my other good friend here to lose his parents in a car accident? Or for my parents to split up and I end up in the wrong kind of a crowd only to end up being arrested and my parents not even be there for me? No, none of us needed to be through that, but we experienced it and it made us all the stronger for it. And now we know how to touch people like you. The gentleman lowered his head in consideration about what the boys had said. Then he looked back up and said, you know, a divorce isn't all that bad. I am a lot happier because I don't fight with her anymore, but I miss her too. And as far as it goes for what might be cancer, well, maybe it's not cancer. The boy said, that's right, it might not be. So would you like to know Jesus? The gentleman said, what would Jesus do for me if I accept him? How do I accept him? 19-year-old says, well, first off, you just simply acknowledge that he is Lord. And then you ask him into your heart. And what would he do for you? He'll be there for you when you find out the truth about the biopsy. He'll be there with you when you cry out in pain because you want a good friend or another mate. That's true, Justin. I agree with you right there. That is true. People are different and everyone deserves to be happy. So the gentleman says, okay, what are your kids' names? So all three of them gives their name to him and they ask what his is. He replies in return. He says, okay, would you pray with me? And all three of them gladly prays with him and he accepts Jesus into his life. Before he knew, three boys was walking right along with him. You too, Julian. I love you, buddy. Anyway, the three kids go on with the gentleman and continue to talk to him about God. No, it doesn't always. It doesn't always. But the three boys, they continue to talk to this gentleman about God. And he learned so much more about Jesus. And by the end of the week, this guy goes to church and he found himself three young friends who accepted him. And he ends up having a wonderful life after all. And that's it. Whoever turns around and watches this in replay, maybe there'll be a good message for them. Oh, you brought me your mouse. You brought Mama your mouse. Yeah. You go get me your mouse and I'll throw it for you. Go get one of your toys. Go get one of your toys, Mommy will throw it. No, you can't have Raggedy Ann. Yeah, forget it, Luna. You're not getting my kitty cat. About the best Catherine can do to you is just slap you backwards. You'll have to go find yourself another cat girl. Yep. But you know what? Your dad sent you to him. He needed you. You're a good dog, Luna. You're a good girl. You and your papa, you are both very beautiful. I love the both of you. So what do you want to do next, Dylan? Well, why don't you start a story now? There was a woman with her two children in the store. One of them was 10 and one of them was 8. The mother was a very attentive one and would always keep one eye on them and one on what was going on around them. So in this store, the kids are looking around as usual, and they want so badly to go into the toy aisle. The mom says that they have to be patient and wait, let her get what she needs to grab, and then they would go into the toy aisle. So the kids finally hush and just very wriggly and anxious because they just knew that mom would keep her word. So as soon as Mom was done getting everything that was on the list, she took them into the toy aisle. Well, the 10-year-old wanted to look at the cars and trucks. Hello, 2-liter J. It is good to see you. You added a little bit to your title. That's nice. 2-liter Ministries. I like that. And the other one, the 8-year-old, wanted to go look at the dolls. Well, I believe that you'll get that took off. I do. I believe that will work out great for you. And so the mom says, okay, first we'll look at the cars and trucks, and then we'll go look at the dolls. Dylan? Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. We're doing a build a story, and we just got done talking about a gentleman that got saved. 3 teenagers ministered to him. It's all fictional, but anybody who would watch it on the replay would get ministered to. We kind of do it all out of fun, and we never know which direction the story's going to take because everybody always has a different idea. Yeah, I'm always trying to do things to kind of keep the chat running nice. They are at the toy aisle and they notice that there are barely any toys there. Any of the toys there in terrible shape, anyways. Mom says, is there anything that you would like to see here? The 10-year-old says, I see something. And the mom says, what? Where is it? Hello, 132 Customs. It's going to take a little time for me to get used to that one, Victor. How you doing? Anyway, the 10-year-old says, it's over there, Mom. And the mom says, what? There isn't much here. So the kid walks over to it and says, this right here. What is this, Mom? Mom looks closely at it and says, well, it's a matchbox. It looks like it's a monster truck. A monster truck? Mom, there ain't no monster truck. It's just a pickup truck. Yeah, but look here at the design. It's a big truck. You see that? She says, you want that? Yeah. Okay. That's great to hear. And then she looks at her 8-year-old and says, okay, let's go on over and look at the dolls. Dylan? Yeah, monster trucks are cool, aren't they? I'd always liked the Bigfoot. That was my favorite monster truck. I always liked Bigfoot. And then there's the one that's the big van. It's kind of green. I don't remember what it's called. It might be the Crusher, but I'm not positive. But I've always loved the Bigfoot. I like watching them crush cars. I don't like it when they jump them, but I'm watching them jump. I love seeing them crush those cars. I love watching them jump onto the cars and crush them. Yeah, and did you notice that they changed him around a lot? They was always rigging him up different. There are a whole lot of dolls, tall dolls, blonde-haired dolls, you name it, they had it. The 10-year-old and the 8-year-old go crazy and they start going through the dolls. The mom says, get a dog. The mom says, get a dog. Don't go anywhere without me. That's how bad things happen. The children are ashamed and they said, sorry, Mom. They continued to look at the dolls and the mom's phone rings in her purse. So she takes it out and looks to see who it is. It's her husband. He's calling to say that he's wanting to bring dinner home and what would she like? And so while she's got one eye on the kids and her other eye on one particular doll that stood out to her, she's trying to tell the dad what to bring home for dinner. Next thing she knows, her kids are missing. She starts to look for them. She looks down one aisle and she looks down the other. Yep, I don't think you need any more dogs. And she tells her husband, just be sure and get that. I got to go. The kids took off without me. Dylan? Gravy train. The mom was on the phone with dad, trying to figure out what he was going to bring home for dinner. And the kids took off without her. And so she quickly gets off the phone with her husband to go look for the kids. Nothing but the best for you, Luna. Nothing but the best. Luna, I tell you what, girl, you're going to have to get on here more often. You're more interactive than Grandpa. Tell him just go on ahead and take a back seat. You're taking over now. I believe it. I believe that big time, Victor. My ex-husband has got a whole mess of dogs. Matter of fact, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it is not funny. Ah, I guess so, Luna. She begins to go mentally bonkers, but keeps her cool outside. Rose, Adeline, where did you both go? She runs, forgets all of her groceries in the cart. She ran, looking for a sign of them. She found Rose, the 10-year-old, but she couldn't find Adeline. She quickly grabs Rose by the arm, not too harshly, but enough to let the 10-year-old know that that was not a good thing. She looks her square in the eyes and says, "Where is your sister?" Well, at first, Rose just kind of looks around, scared because she didn't realize that she had startled her mom like that. And two, her mom rarely ever raised her voice at her. And then finally, she just pointed down the way. Yeah. Luna sure will. Anyway, Rose points down the way. And Mom says, "Tell me, Rose. Don't just point. Tell me." Rose said, "Well, there was this guy that said that he knew where some more dolls were. And Adeline got excited and went with him. I ran a little ways and then I thought that maybe you'd get mad and I came back to tell you that the man was taking us to go see the other dolls. But now I don't see her either, Mom." Well, that right there completely flipped Mom out. Dylan? Oh, yummy. Ah, yeah, I bet Papa makes real good cheeseburgers. I'll have to make myself one. I need to get some buns first. I'd have to get some American cheese and buns. I've got the hamburgers. The mom was now showing her madness. Did you see where they rent outside the store? Rose answered, yes, they rent into the parking lot row right in front of the store. The mom grabs Rose by arm and dashes outside. Mom then asked, did they go into a vehicle? Yeah, a blue vehicle. The mom looked around and saw a blue vehicle just leaving the parking lot. Quickly, immediately, with fast thinking, the mom calls 911 and says that her daughter has just been kidnapped. And she gives the description of the vehicle and the license plate. Next thing they know, there is alerts being put all out, bulletins and Amber alerts. And the mom gets hold of her husband. The husband immediately meets up with her and they go looking themselves. All right. You have a good one, Victor. So the mom and dad goes out looking. The police are looking. The Amber Alert has been put out. The mom is trying her best to keep cool. And the dad himself is sweating bullets, so to speak. But the mom has to try to keep his cool as well. Finally, they meet up with the police. And Dylan. Oh, okay. 3 dogs. Got it. The police said, with this information you have given us, we have determined that William Andes, age 34, has taken your daughter. He is the only one that has this license plate number registered under him. The parents are relieved to know that at least they have a suspect's name. So they continue searching and listening in for a call from anybody who has spotted the car under the Amber Alert description. Finally, one calls in with a description of a vehicle that sounds just like the car they had been given, and they was able to repeat the license plate number, and sure enough, it was the same car. So immediately the police takes on action and goes where the call had been sent from and the description of the area where the person described seeing the car. And they find the vehicle abandoned, but it was close in an area with a few houses. Dylan? The police had investigated the vehicle and had noticed that there was absolutely nothing in this vehicle. No trash, no papers, no bottles, nothing except a note on the seat. The police asked this one officer with really good vision to read the note. He said, "Do not bother trying to follow me unless you have 450,000 to pay me. Then we will talk." So the police finally get hold of the parents and reveal to them that there was a ransom note. The dad says that there is no way he's even close to having that. And the police say that there are ways to get around it and that they will make sure to be able to get Adeline. So the dad says, "What are we to do?" The police said, "You go on ahead and make the phone call. The number is here on the note, and we'll take it from there." So the dad calls the number, and a rough voice comes on. And Guy asks if there's 450,000. And the police had already given specific instructions to let on like he had it. It was the only way that he was going to be able to get his daughter back. So the dad lied and said, yes, he could come up with it. And the police had also informed the dad to not let on that there would ever be any police involved. So the dad said, you don't want any police, correct? Of course not. The man absolutely said no police. So the dad said, where? And the man tells him where. Dylan? Terry. You are very welcome. You'll get through this. I know that. God's got you, girl. You're good through this. Ah, Luna's giving you loving, Terry. Well, you think about that. Luna has got her own channel. I'll tell you what, she's doing better than Grandpa. I love you, Terry. You'll never realize how much, woman. I appreciate you so much. You're just another blessing in my life. At the pier at sunset, spot on or no deal. The father agrees, leading him on, reassuring him that no police will be involved. They hang up, and the dad says he is going to be at the pier exactly. Yeah, you do, Luna. I agree there too, Luna. You're welcome, Terry. One of these days, hopefully, I'll be a blessing to you too. I'm always wanting to be a blessing to somebody. At sunset or the deal is off. Let's see. He is going to be at the pier exactly at sunset or the deal is off. The police take note. They make a plan to have a speedboat with weapons if needed. The mother is on the edge. She tells her husband, is Adeline going to be okay? The dad wants to reassure his wife. Yes, Adeline is going to be just fine. I'm sure that with this several times, they'll be able to handle this. They've got her. So the dad goes on ahead and prepares. As nervous as I'm feeling right now, I was watching a video of Luna playing in the water, and it helped me. Oh, that's wonderful. It's fun watching that dog. I tell you, it's really fun. Anyway, so the dad prepares to meet the suspect at the pier. He has a duffel bag that's got just paper rotted up in it, so that it would be equivalent to about the rate of $450,000. And he meets the man at sunset at the pier. Now he's trying to act as calm as possible, but he knows that if he acts too calm, the suspect would be suspicious. You are, oh, and he knows also that if he acts too nervous, that the suspect would be suspicious. So he just tries to play it just right so that he's just anxious enough because he does want his daughter, but at the same time, he doesn't want to lead the suspect to believe that something is up. And in the meantime, Dylan, oh, and Terry, hubby said that it's possible in around 3 weeks or so, something like that. Um, our anniversary is coming up on the 15th of October. He's thinking even maybe around then, possibly, but sometime or another in a few weeks or so, we'll be trying to get down to Houston way so that you and I could try to do a video on the Bay Area Park. Hubby's wanting me to do the Bay Area Park anyway, so hopefully that will work out so we can do that together. Hopefully the temperatures will be even more tolerable. So hopefully they'll work out for the both of us. And even if you can't make it to the park, I've still got a park to do, but hopefully you'll be able to show up and you and I both can do a collab on it. I believe you would give me a pause too, Luna. It's a neat park. That would be a great place for you and Grandpa if you would ever be able to get over this way. I'd say you've got beautiful parks there in Maine too. The police are on the boat, armed and ready to shoot. He walks on the pier and he sees this person. He has Adeline holding her by the arm and has her mouth taped up. This man says, yeah, hopefully that will work out just fine. I really do. I don't know. He's talked about me doing videos in other places too. You're scared of Jason, Luna. Well, hopefully he's back in that grave and nobody's raising him back up. Anyway, as the time comes closer, because I'm going to let hubby decide where we're going for our anniversary, and I'll let you know as the time comes around. I will. I saw that you had posted that, so yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching that for sure. Where's the money? Kick it over to me slowly. The father obeys and kicks it over slowly and with his hands up, trying to play along. The father then said, "Okay, I did my part. Now my daughter." The one thing that was absolutely stupid on this suspect's part that most other suspects don't do, he ran on ahead and shoved the girl over toward Dad before he checked to make sure the money was there. Dumb move on his part. And just as the girl is out of his hands and into her dad's arms, the police gets up onto the pier and traps the suspect. The suspect can't believe that he was tricked like that, and he tried to dive off the pier, but one of the officers grabbed him around the waist and had him down before he could do anything else. The daughter was crying by now. The dad takes the tape off her mouth and she says, "Daddy, I'm sorry." The mom is relieved and quickly runs over to hug both of them. The officers takes the man onto the boat to take him downtown. And everything is well and good in the end. The end. I wasn't about to pull Dave's little trick. There was no way. If Dave would have had his way, that the suspect would have checked the money first, said you failed, and took off with the kid. I have a very good video, Terry, that I'm going to be putting up. I know exactly what you're saying. Mm. It gets very difficult. When I was trying to do videos on my 6, it got to the point it wouldn't even upload. Aside from the camera not working, did you actually find an app? Did you ever find an editing app? Sorry. Oh, Luna, dear. I think you chewed it off already. That would be a feat. Maybe you'd just be chewing your claws all night. Oh man, I always miss the good times when I don't get to go into Grandpa's chat. Dag it. I don't even know what in the world I was up to Thursday. I have no clue what I was up to Thursday. There was some reason why I ended up missing Grandpa. Hopefully everybody will get the camera that they need to really put some good videos out and find the websites that works good too. Good night, Dylan. I'm going to be shutting this down here in a couple minutes anyway. I've got to get this edited. And there's so much to put it up and so much to put together. I'm going to be busy on that. Anyway, I had asked if you'd at least found an app that would work well with the camera, an editing app. Did you at least find that? Now, I'm talking about the editing apps on the computer for when you get a camera. I'm gathering that you still haven't found one. I wouldn't be able to even know again. I think I might open up Suri and see if she can direct me to one. Grandpa is silly, but I love that silly old man. I'll put that in consideration, Carlos. Thank you. So anyway, I'm going to go on ahead and shut this down, folks. I want to get this video. Well, I'm getting ready to hang this up anyway. But I do have this video to put together and upload. And I'll be watching your video, Terry. And I love you guys so much. You all have an awesome night. Love yous.